in the courts a lot, and I can tell you I've seen the shift of the change with the judges. It used to be one time they were pro-bank. The judges nowadays are becoming more sympathetic towards the homeowners because they're realizing that this once upon a time this bank who everybody felt sorry for and these bad homeowners who weren't paying their loans actually aren't the good guys here. If you really go and you look at these mortgages and these loans and you go through them, you see there are so many issues. There are laws that are set up to protect homeowners. They've been set up for years to protect homeowners from the big lenders, and the banks still aren't following them. They're skipping underwriting procedures. They weren't checking people's incomes, and it became a matter of musical mortgages, if you will. The banks were lending money to anybody. They weren't following procedures. They weren't looking at the income, and basically those are the defenses that you have out there to help you out if you're in a situation of losing your home. Foreclosures or you can't pay your mortgage and you think there's nothing that you can do. There are actually things that you can do to save your house, and that's why I want to run through these things. So maybe you fit in one of these categories that I discussed today, or if not, maybe you come into my office and I look at your documents, you put into another category. But there is light at the end of the tunnel, and basically everybody needs to know out there in this situation. Most banks don't want your house. If you're in foreclosure and if you can make any attempt to pay, meaning you have a job, you change jobs, there's some type of income that you can pay, you can save your house, but you must get out and do something. And you must either, if it's not me, it's another attorney, but you are responsible for doing something.
Tout bon encore sous ou you serve avec foreclosure notice. So she was in the modification plan. They set her up in the modification plan, and during that time, I guess within the first 90 days, they served her with foreclosure. And she called the bank. Well, she called the court and she called the bank, and they told her that it was suspended. But should she believe them or? I'm
going to ask you to come into the office. I do have the free consultations, and what you're saying to me bothers me. And unfortunately, a lot of times there's the bank and there's the bank's attorneys, and one doesn't know what the other's doing. I do offer free consultations, so it would be totally free. I would request that you call Monday morning, you make an appointment so I can review your documents. We can call your bank together and we can figure out what's going on. Because I don't want to hear that, the bank saying, oh, your foreclosure is suspended, but yet it's affecting your credit. And I'm sure it's hard to sleep at night not knowing whether you're going to lose your house at night. What you're telling me just does not sound fair at all. The number is 305-459-0756. Once again, that's 305-459-0756. And I would urge you just to call, come in for an appointment.
He wants to know if before he got into a loan modification program, I guess his insurance was not included in his mortgage payments. But after that, are they going to force him to include his insurance?
Now, I discussed there are two types of loan modifications. There's a loan modification through your lender, and there's a loan modification through the government program, which is the Making Homes Affordable. Most banks call that. Some of the banks, we'll call it Making Homes Affordable for the purpose of this show. Under Making Homes Affordable, your insurance is going to be included. It's going to be principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. And it's got to be 31% of your income. So it's going to be included. However, if you don't qualify for that plan and you get a modification with your bank, you're entitled to keep your insurance out. I've done it. I've seen other people do it. You go get your own homeowner's insurance and you say, you're not going to include this in the modification, but those are the modifications that are usually changing an interest rate, dropping you from, say, a 9% interest rate down to a 4% interest rate.
Eh bien, il y a deux plans. Pas oublier que le plan Obama vraiment exige